Good morning. Welcome, everybody. It's another very quiet day in the land of crypto, but it's been quite nice recently to be trading the legacy markets. I've had a good couple of days just getting myself into the zone on the NQ. Bitcoin's just been a case of like 2 trades recently, so we're going to cover those in today's stream. We're going to cover the analysis as always. We're going to see what opportunities are out there. So who do we have in the chat? We got Cons, good morning. Anthony Holloway, top of the morning to ya. Lovely morning here in London again. It's nice to have some good weather at last. Nuno Ferreira, good morning. Hostile Power, good morning. BTC bullish today. We got to remember that it's FOMC later, so we'll see what happens there. There's still levels below. I did take a long yesterday, so we'll cover that. I'm still holding my short. What's left of it? There's not very much left of it. But still holding that short, just in case of any more downside. Also have a long that is open, but not one that I'm overly enthused about at the moment. But I will cover the reasons for taking that long in just a moment. And yeah, altcoins not doing anything. There's only one asset that I feel confident holding right now. And I did buy a little bit more of that one asset yesterday. No one needs to guess what it is. It's very obvious what it is. It's the only asset that's kind of been not dumping recently. Exactly. Hostile Power, that is the one. So yeah, ZRO is the only one that I've really felt confident with. We had another, it's just holding. So that's basically it. I'm just continuing to compound this trade. Of course, I've been spot / long since $2.50. Added to it here, adding to it again this over the last couple of days. Nothing significant, just adding little 5% extra on these little dips, things like where I've maybe taken profit in the past, adding just small amounts more, just to see how it goes. But yeah, everything else is a bit of a dud right now. Doge is another one that I would consider adding to this position here, but it's not really doing very much. So there's not really anything in the market right now that I'm particularly excited about. I keep coming here. Hey, I hope you guys hit the like button. Appreciate the grind at the very least. I'm still here every morning, despite the fact that there's nothing actually going on, and there's not actually anything to talk about. And but we keep going. We keep persevering. Better times are ahead. Better times are going to be ahead. And in the meantime, I've just been enjoying taking the odd little scalp trade here and there on the NASDAQ, because you can always rely on that to move. So even this morning, I know a lot of you guys in the crew, so for those of you who are in the crew, did Cakes London open today? I would imagine you're probably overall looking at longs, but have probably taken a couple of scalp shorts here as well. I didn't watch the stream. It's dog walkie time for me when it's that early. But I did take a short from these highs just before we started the stream. Took profit just before I started the stream as well. And it's probably me done for the day, to be honest, on the NQ. So I think it was $460 win. So I think that's enough for myself. Just to be able to just play that move down, close it out at least until FOMC a bit later on. I'll take a winning day as a win, even though it's a small one, and it's just a little extra pocket money pocket money for when things start to improve, and also to pay for all of the stuff that I got to pay for over the next few months. So it's been decent-ish. But how is everybody else's week going? I want to start this a bit differently. Let me ask, like, are people... How's the trading been for everybody else? How's the trading been? Did anyone catch the short from the other day? Is anyone now in the long from yesterday? Have people been trading the NQ profitably? I know yesterday was a big old dumpy day, but we could have guessed that was going to happen. It's the day before FOMC. It's happened every time this year. So yeah. See what's there. What are you guys saying? Is anyone going to say anything, or do I just get on with the stream? either let me know how your trading week's going, or say shut up, Luke, get on with the analysis. The short save my ass, got stopped on the ETH perp position. Overall doing okay. Made 2 SOL for the day on some shitcoin. Very nice. Hey, at least there's always meme coins. Something that I do not touch. In a weird way, my degeneracy is the NASDAQ. That's the thing that makes, like, right now is making my multipliers. I just sometimes just throw 4 contracts on a YOLO account and just go, like, I'm either going to make 4K or I'm going to lose 2K. And that's just how it goes. But no, I've been trading more sensibly than that. I want to fill more long bags. Yeah, I just don't. It would be nice if the market showed us something to give us a reason to fill those long bags. I think it will come, and we'll obviously see what happens during FOMC later. But there's just no confidence in anything right now. Nothing looks good. Nothing. I mean, not good enough to add to the positions that we were taking last week. I mean, so I've still got some of these trades. So we'll cover those in a minute. But there's just nothing I really want to be going back into again. It's like charts look decent, and then they're just like fading a little bit. And yeah, so charts do look good. Charts look good, high time frame. But I'm just not seeing that spark right now, or just not feeling the need to be adding to anything. It's one of those weird situations. Like, you look at it and like, hey, this looks like it's going to pump, but nothing is. So, minus musician, welcome. Right, okay. What we're going to do, we're just going to get straight on with the analysis. I'll probably go live. I'll see how I'm feeling. Probably go live again for FOMC. Actually, I'm not going to say probably. I might go live again for FOMC. Depends how the market's looking when it happens. But I mean, there's all this speculation about, oh, they're going to cut rates early. I don't think that's likely. Obviously, if they do cut rates today, then that's going to cause some absolute craziness. But yeah, that's about it. Okay, yeah, I'm going to carry on. No one's talking. It's just... Right. Music off. We'll get back to the conversational aspect a little bit later on. Music off. Press record. Try and time the weird delay that the record button seems to have right now when I do these multi-streams. Also, hi for anyone who's here on X. I've kind of given up loading the chat on X, because nobody talks over there. Man, I'm so looking forward to when the bull market starts again, when people actually start talking again. Yeah, cool. Looking to long some alts. Okay, I'll do my best. To find some stuff. It is my job after all. I gotta try and find some stuff. I thought we were balls deep into the bull market. I mean, I am, but this is from like down here, and just right now, just sitting on hands, waiting, 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 wait, 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 and more waitings. So why would you add to positions when it's gone up here already? Silly. But yeah. All right. Hello traders, welcome to today's video. It is the 31st of July, which means it's the last day of the month. We also have FOMC today, so that is something to be mindful of later on. So FOMC coming at 7 p.m. UK time. Unless it's changed, it's normally 7 p.m. UK time. I haven't actually had a look. It is 7 p.m. UK time. And then we have the FOMC conference, the press conference with our good friend Jerome Powell, happening 30 minutes after that. So there's a pretty strong probability that I will go live for the FOMC. We'll see how the day goes, see how it unfolds. But overall, it's another one of those days where we see prices just hanging around the point of control, hanging around the monthly level, and we're just going to see where we end up. As always, a thank you to the very kind sponsors of these videos at Blofin. So if you guys are interested in trading non-KYC exchange, open to everybody across the world, they're doing some very nice deposit bonuses, 15% deposit bonus right now. So take yourself over, link is in the description below. You get a 15% deposit bonus, plus volume-based bonuses, plus discounts on fees if you trade using the link directly underneath this video. But starting off here on the daily, okay, there was another bit of a drop yesterday. Now, it wasn't very much considering what happened to legacy markets. So the NASDAQ and the S&P had a big drop yesterday. Bitcoin had a little drop yesterday, which is very similar to what we saw last week as well, where there were new. So essentially what we've been seeing recently is, so the NASDAQ and the ES hit the 1.618, macro 1.618, and they've been in this like bit of a corrective move since. But Bitcoin has actually been making these higher lows and higher highs at the same time. So whilst the legacy markets have been making the lower lows and lower highs, the Bitcoin has been kind of doing the inverse of that, being a little bit more resilient on the moves down, and then extending a little bit higher when there is those recoveries. But overall, it's just not a lot of movement here. It's pretty slow. It is summer, school holidays, yeah, not a huge amount of money in the market right now in order to move things. So if we look on the daily, what happened very simply yesterday, okay, we hit an untapped daily level. That has been consistently happening from this range. So if I do zoom in here, we did have an untapped daily level, which was right here. What did we do last week? It was the same thing. Okay, so what we're not wanting to see right now is price messing around with this stuff. All right, we just don't want to see it messing around with this stuff. A dip into it and a quick recovery back out would be okay. If there is to be any carnage, maybe at FOMC today, maybe they hike the rates again. It's never going to happen. But if there is to be anything that causes that carnage, a dip into that 62K level would be acceptable. But you'd want to see a very, very quick recovery out of it, because as soon as you start messing around with this, getting that back down to value area low, we know that we've probably got to flip our bias to be bearish again. But as for now, it has just been very, very straightforward, rotating between balance and imbalance, but general direction is still up. And that is why I'm still very confident in any of the long positions that I've been taking from lower down. The thing that's not quite as good about all of this is because there isn't a whole lot of confidence in the market. We're not seeing altcoins responding or reacting well to any of the price action. Altcoins are mainly just staying stable, not really following Bitcoin on the moves up and then falling away on those moves down. So it's a bit of a bleed from altcoins, but many of them still holding those July lows. I mean, most of them still holding those July lows. Maybe all of them still holding those July lows, at least the ones that we've been looking at recently. So not a huge amount to be doing here, rather than just kind of wait and see how price continues to develop. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't trades to be had. All right, so we'll go down onto the 4 hour again here. And you know that we took the short position that was looking for the lows from, so I'm going to take it down even onto even lower time frames, because even the 4 hour here is not the cleanest. So we're going to go onto the 30-minute, and we're just going to zoom in, take a look at this. We had the Bitcoin conference, Trump talk, a lot of speculation, a lot of hype, all of this kind of thing over the weekend. What happened on the Monday, Sunday night into Monday, price came up, took out the highs. All right, people who have maybe been like, oh, Trump's going to cause the top. Didn't happen, all right? We took the highs. A couple of SFPs off of that just before we started the New York session. And then a nice little dumpy down. So I did alert the crew to this short position. We did take profit relatively quickly on this to begin with. Then I took larger profit as we came down to these lows. And I'm still riding that. I'm still riding that trade just in case of any further downside, but there's not a lot of size left that I have on there. Now, yesterday, I then took a long as we came down into what was single prints and this untapped daily level. So I got in a little bit early just because I kind of just wanted to like finish up for the day. I liked the fact that we had swept the lows again, which, if you remember, during yesterday's live stream, I'm just going to hide these, or during yesterday's live stream, I did speak about the fact that it's likely that we take out these lows, okay? We have poor lows on the day. It is likely that we take them out, and I just liked the liquidity that was down here that was taken, and also tapping into that daily level. Now, we did have one more sweep of the lows, which is absolutely fine. I'm perfectly happy to accept that, like, all right, that's hardly any drawdown there. And there was certainly no acceptance inside the single prints or below that daily level. Had a decent bounce, and now so far holding this daily open. So this right here being our daily open right now, and price is just about clinging onto it. So essentially what I'm looking at now, I like the low that we have from yesterday. Okay, I like that we hit the untapped daily level. I like that we filled or at least tapped those single prints. All right, let's clean this up even more. Okay, we know that the Trump lows were taken. We know that there was other stuff to be looking at here. We tapped into those single prints. As you can see, impulse here. Yep. So price moves up, corrects, impulses, then straight higher. All of this has now been recovered and retraced, and there hasn't been any acceptance back below there, which does mean that we have a generally bullish bias for the day. So the trade that I'm looking at the moment, I did get into on that SFP. I was basically looking at an invalidation being if we traded through those single prints and came out the other side of them. What you want to see when you have an area of imbalance like this is you want to see, of course, price either coming down, tapping into them and recovering, or if you get acceptance, you trade through them and then usually out the other side. So that was the thesis there. That was the invalidation, have not been invalidated. And what I'm looking for essentially is all of that can now be recovered. All right, it's really straightforward. You impulse, you then have an area of balance, you then correct the whole move down, and then what's likely to happen next? You correct the whole move back up again. So if this is, if this does get this continuation later, let's say FOMC provides us with a nice move up, I think this can easily get to 69,600 by the end of the day before we go into August. However, we then have to be aware that there is this monthly level. Okay, it is going to be is it going to close above, engulf? Is it going to close below? Maybe a sign of weakness that we have a bit more downside to come early in August. And I think the daily close today will give us a good indication of what it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. These, like, where the monthly level closes doesn't matter. But I think that first move that we see tomorrow will be dependent on what we get today. If we close above here, then I think we can probably see an Asia session that just comes up towards these highs. I still think there's more of this range to come. We are going to continue to go up and then down and then up and then down. We're not looking at any kind of trend to start to form here. But overall, yes, in that long position, looking for higher. I also see no reason why these highs would get taken at this stage either. Okay, so we just have to trade the range. You have to be diligent in taking profits. If there is to be a move back up to here, I would probably seek to short it again. Okay, and even if there is to be a little SFP or something like that, I would probably look to short that once again afterwards. Now, if we go down onto, let's just have a look on XO. And from today, okay, this gives us a little bit more confluence for this idea, right? Let's look at the TPO chart. So what we have right here is just very, very balanced for the past couple of days. All right, we did have that spike down that gave us a nice tail yesterday. Today we tapped into it. All right, so this is essentially acting like single prints. There is excess down here. Price has bounced from that excess. It is back above the daily open. And what we have done now is just come into that time POC from yesterday. So when you have these days where it's just like kind of long and slow, where price spends a lot of time, is likely to get a reaction like this. And we're just pinned within balance right now. Value area high, very slightly above. But as I mentioned on the previous chart, if we are to start to see a move up that takes out these highs, there are poor highs now from yesterday. Okay, when we did the stream, that wasn't there, but we came up and we just chopped around those highs again for an hour or two just after I did the live stream yesterday. Then we came down, put in the tail on the day, had that recovery. There are poor highs up here. Now, if that is going to get taken, what happens then? Likelihood is some acceptance back inside value area. Once you get acceptance back inside the value area from Monday, then where are we looking to go? 69,600. Okay, I know it's very small text there, but what was the level that we were just looking at? What was the level I spoke about a minute ago? That's where our confluence is. That POC is the start of the drop down that we had on Monday. So it can come all the way up here and do that within like the space of a few hours or something. It will be, if there is to be a move up, it would likely happen quite quickly. And then maybe we end up back around that monthly level to close out the month towards this evening. Now, let's have a look on this one. The CVD, the order flow, has just been generally just spot selling and perp selling as well. So this, because we've had a bearish couple of weeks on the NQ, right? I think a lot of the ETF, I mean, it's not really been outflows. I think it's been relatively flat. I haven't actually checked the ETFs for a few days. We'll have a look at that in just a second. But it has just been generally like people kind of exiting the market, but there has been absorption here. So there is clear absorption going on. Now, does that lead to another situation? When we saw this happen previously, it did end up rolling over, but it was a kind of a different phase within the market then. That was when we were up at highs, like chopping around. Everyone was really bullish. Now that's not so much the case. We are building these bullish divergences. With the last time we had this bullish divergence on these lows down here, it did make a new high. We're now doing the same thing again today. So does lead me to a bias for today at least, that this has the opportunity to float higher. The invalidation for the long trade is very, very simple. Like I said, it's if we trade through those single prints that were created yesterday, not created yesterday, created back in the on the 25th of July, or like trading and gaining acceptance below previous day lows. So let's just have a quick look on the ETFs. I've got the ETH ETF up here at the moment. Let's not a lot going on there. There's still the general outflows from Grayscale going on. It's been very, very flat. Yeah. So the ETF inflows and outflows have been very, very flat for the last week, which is probably what what we would expect. What we also have, of course, I do continue to repeat this, we do have the spot premium. That means generally, okay, we're seeing nice absorption within the market. It means funding rates are pretty good. So if you're in long positions, from lower, of course. If you're in long positions from lower, there's not really any need to act on those, to take profit on those, to do any of that kind of thing. I do believe that this eventually resolves up. It is just a case of whether we come back down here and dip into this level right now, or whether we continue with this slow move up. Maybe we come down, do this a bit longer, and then eventually do resolve up towards like as we're going into like September kind of time. That's my time base for when I think things can start getting exciting again. So, whoa, just to wrap it up. Do I need to wrap it up? Yeah, the confluence is 69,600. So that is where we have the POC from Monday. That is also the point in which we started to drop down. So like I've said before, you either tap into the single prints, as we've done here, or you trade all the way through them. Now that means as soon as we start taking out some of these highs, the chances are you trade all the way through them. So 69,600 being the key level right now for myself to be looking at. We do then have to be aware that there is a trend. We are in a slight, but it is there. We are in an uptrend. So do we have a situation where I would likely look to short this anyway, because it's so close to the highs, I would likely look to short it anyway. And yeah, then we'll see what happens basically. So that's it really. If there is to be more of a move down, I'm still holding that short position. And the target for that short position could be a spike down into 62K. And we just have to see if there is going to be volatility during FOMC later. I'm not sure it's going to be very much. Now, the reason why I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of... I could be very, very wrong on this. But I'm going to stick my neck out and say it's not going to do that much or anything too unexpected, FOMC later, because Nasdaq's already had the massive move. All right, it's last week. It has some of the biggest corrective days in its history. Last week, or some of the biggest down days in its history. And Bitcoin's not really done a lot when there was massive dumps. And if there is going to be a big pump, it likely gets retraced anyway because it's news. All right, that's just what happens. So I'm not expecting that much fireworks. It will likely be a if there is to be a spike of highs, I would expect that we see some continuation. If there is to be a spike of lows, I would expect that we probably can fade that. Like overall, I do believe that this is what we're looking at as slightly more likely. If we come down and take out some lows again, it's fine as long as we're not seeing that acceptance. But there's nothing really below us unless we're going 62K. That seems like a stretch for today. So to come down 62K does seem like a stretch. I am holding the short position in case that happens. But it's a long way away. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm going to continue on with the live stream. I hope you guys found that useful. If you did, hit the like button. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video tomorrow. Cheers. Bye-bye. Cool. All right. Let me start getting that uploaded. And then if you guys have any questions, then ask away. I can see a couple of questions here. Let me just press upload video first of all. So in case anyone's missed it, then you can watch this back later. This one, 31st. The other thing to remember is the last day of the month. So chop. Last day of the month, FOMC. Choppy, 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 chop, 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 chop. Big FOMC move today. Kazi, so I was looking on CoinGlass, which is what Glyph has said, but also the one that had the CVD is aggr.trade, aggr.trade. So we've got these two. If you're talking about this one, it is aggr.trade. That is AgriTrade. And if you're talking about where I'm looking at this data, it's all on coinglass.com. All right, let me just go back to uploading this. Let's try and pick a volatility today thumbnail. I don't know if we're going to get volatility today. Well, I'm going to pick it as a thumbnail anyway. It's funny as well, that thumbnail's got the... Oh, well, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. Righty. So upload the video onto X. I'm pretty sure my plan is clear for today, right? I did probably repeat it about 20 times during that stream, so... All right. Make video public. Let's take a few minutes to upload or to get into HD, but I'm just going to publish this anyway. So yeah, if anyone's missed the Bitcoin update for today, it's probably quite an important one as you're looking as we go into FOMC. So if you do need to recap on it, do give it a watch. It is now on YouTube as a standalone video. Please also make sure that you click like on that one also. And I'm also just posting it up onto X, so it's going to be there too. All right, what else is going on? Got my eye on OM Ondo Audi. Okay, we can have a look at some altcoins in a second. Can you share what you think of the 26 million longs that just entered BTC USD Bybit? No, I won't have any opinion on that at all. It's insignificant. It's market makers. It's the exchange. So yeah, it means nothing. It means nothing. The only time you need to look at order flow is when price comes to an extreme, right? If price is just trading in balance, it means absolutely nothing. Like you can have $76 billion worth of long positions open. If price remains stable, it means that they've literally just, it's like they've balanced each other out. So it means that there was also that many limit orders that just trapped it there. Yeah. So the only time when order flow becomes when it becomes useful is when you approach extremes. So that is it. That's all you need to look at. When it's stable like it is now, in fact it means less than nothing. It's so like unimportant information that it's less than worthless. Because what it does is then it causes speculation, which then clouds judgment. So yeah, it's just ignore it. Useful question for most. How long would you say it takes to somewhat master EXO? It entirely depends on who you are. I think, like, for myself, we were... As always, another phone call. They just always phone me at the same time. I actually know, yeah. All right. It is a phone call that I need to call back, but I always forget then to call them back. So whatever. Yeah. How long would you say it takes to mark? Yeah. For EXO, I mean, it can take people like a few weeks if you understand. Yeah, it just depends on what you are like, whether you're like for for me, I'm used to using technical software. All right, I have a background in music. I was a producer. I'm used to using technical software. I'm used to using tools that have this kind of instrument panel. So things like TradingView, things like all of that kind of stuff. I'm used to it. So it doesn't actually matter. Like the data is just the data. But what you have to think about it is, are you used to using something that has that kind of workflow incorporated into it? Because that's where most people trip up, is that they get into something like trading, and it's not about understanding what the data's telling you. That's relatively easy. You can watch a YouTube video and you can then understand what net longs, net shorts are. It's about understanding how to make things visually like appealing by using the instruments that are there and using everything. So for myself, as like I used to do production, I was a mix engineer. I'm very used to manipulating data, what used to be sound waves, into something that is like I can comprehend. So it's a weird answer to give, but I don't think it's dependent on like skills as a trader or anything like that. It's skills as being someone that understands that kind of look of software. So for me, it was like I picked it up within like a few hours. But we did help to develop the software, so yeah, and make it look like the way that we wanted it to look. So that's it. That's that one. Thoughts on the India and Argentina markets? Again, I don't care. I feel like I'm really rude when I say this stuff. When people ask me things, I don't care. It makes me want to look at it to be polite, but I'm not going to be able to give you any decent information on it. So I don't know it. I don't understand it. I'm not going to try and pretend that I understand them. Isn't your trade showing risky since FOMC volatility can hit your stop loss? Yeah. But every trade is risky. Every trade has risk. Glyph needs to close bullish on the monthly. I guess. It's like I said in the video. If we close bullish on the monthly, we probably see a little bit of continuation. It doesn't actually mean anything. It's just probably what happens like in the first hour or two of the next day. Please let's do some NQ. Also, no. Man, I'm saying no to everybody today. If you want to do the NQ, like Cake's literally done 2 hours of it this morning. For those of you in the crew. So if you want to trade the NQ live, then join the sessions that we do in the crew where they are being traded live. Right now, not much to say. Like when I'm trading the Nasdaq, I don't particularly do anything other than just trade micro movements. So I don't care where things are at with the Nasdaq. I don't really care what's going on. I do little micro movements. I do scalps. So where we are right now, lower risk for a short. I may look to short it. And then you just very simply, okay, if you're looking for short, you look for price to come down there. And I just trade session highs and lows often as well. Like, I'm so selective on my trades now. I either just go scalps, micro movements within little scalps. So I'll be in and out. I can show you my stats. So my average trade time on the Nasdaq is My average trade time is 5 to 10 minutes. My second average trade time, and these are from winning trades, is 15 to 45 seconds. And then everything else is relatively even along those points. The trades I lose, my biggest losing trades, let me show you on here. This is an account that I've actually not been doing particularly well on lately. But that's like, so if I'm in a trade for under 15 seconds, it usually means I'm not seeing a reaction quickly that I want to see, and I'm out of it quickly. And then if I hold trades, then I'm generally like 50-50 on those. Those are my win rates. Yeah, generally speaking, I'm 5 to 10 minutes holding trades. But when I'm taking scalps, they're within the 15 to 45 second mark. And then as soon as I hold them, they become unprofitable again. So that's why I don't really look at the bigger picture when it comes to the NASDAQ, because I don't trade. I don't have a single trade over 30 minutes. Since I've been journaling the NASDAQ, not one trade I've held over 30 minutes. 0. On this account. I might do on another account. Yeah. So I don't really look at the bigger picture. Bitcoin I do. Bitcoin's more 4 hours, a few days at a time. But yeah, when it comes to NASDAQ, nothing over 30 minutes long. Hey, let's see what else are on the... Hey Luke, do gap fills behave similar to single prints, where once you enter, typically fill them? I'm looking at Tesla, where we have entered the gap and lingered a few days, but I've exited now. Yeah, so, I mean, it's not... You can bounce from anywhere, really. Like, it's not... But yeah, typically, where you have a gap, you're more likely than not. So, all right, you've got this. It's the same as single prints. Okay, you have an imbalance, essentially. That could be a gap, can be single prints, whatever you want to call it. Price is trending. Okay, you do this. Next day, you gap up, you get continuation. All right, you start to put in a range. What you would then typically see is price comes in, dips out, continuation, right? Because you're just testing the demand at that stage. And it's the same the opposite way around. Or then if you come down and you gain acceptance and you're trading within there, all right, the demand's not there at the bottom here. So where's the next point in which you're going to test? All right, it's going to be down there. So then you typically trade all the way through it. So it's just a case of what is the reaction like as you bounce or as you pop into those single prints or into that gap. Are you looking at an immediate recovery, in which case look for a continuation higher? Or are you gaining acceptance within it, in which case you look to trade all the way through it? And then more often than not, okay, if you've traded through this, that would then act as a deviation. The chances are you're going to go beyond, okay? Because more often than not, remember, as you're coming through this gap, there will be longs filling bids down here. And the chances are, if you're going to trade the whole way through it, you're going to have people with a pretty poor average by the time you get there. So then you need to look to liquidate them before you get any continuation, right? So that generally speaking is the way that I trade them. I only look to trade on the edges of them usually. And if we don't trade and if you don't get a reaction off of the edges of them, I would more likely sit it out. I know there would be the opportunity to short if there's acceptance. I don't often do that. I just trade with the direction of the market from the edge of those gaps. So if we do look at Tesla, and we have a look at this, you know what? So here, this is actually filled and is holding within it. So, I mean, what did this do from a lower time frame perspective? It did. It just traded the whole way through from this gap here. Now, I think that is slightly different to, maybe single prints in a way, but generally that's how I look to trade them. You can see there was an example here, okay, where you tap into it and you get a bit of a bounce, but then once you trade through it, you continue through to hit stops. So examples of it here. This is one of those where it actually has filled and is holding. But then there's other stuff to be looking at here, because that's also going to be the POC. Yeah, you just know it because it's right in the middle. So it is also going to be the POC. So there is a little bit more to be going off of from this. Some other stuff that you need to be aware of. Any thoughts on AMC stock, please? Again, probably not. It's not. I've never traded AMC. Ever. I don't do meme coins. I don't do meme stocks. Why AMC USDT? Oh, what am I on about? Hey, look at that. Roaring Kitty came back to save your bags and nothing happened. Just no. Nope. Is the BTC setup you drew a confident one? Yes. I'm confident in every I wouldn't still be holding the short if I was confident. I was confident in the short, right? Okay, I was very confident in the short, which was this one. This long, I like it. It's okay. We are at some point going to come and fill this gap. It's inevitable. It's going to happen, but it's just. Am I confident that we do it before sweeping the lows again? No, because there's FOMC today, and that's going to cause some volatility later. So no, I'm not confident that we do this with this invalidation, but what I am absolutely 100% confident at is that we are going to go to 69,600 soon. Because there's imbalance up there. It's going to be filled. You'll get stopped out on that short on the surprise rate cut. Good. I hope I do. The thing is with short positions, I want to get stopped. I genuinely want to get stopped on every short position that I hold, because I am so heavily weighted in longs overall. The only reason I take short positions is just to protect my account, like momentarily. So if I get stopped on short positions, that means everything else I hold is going up, which is wonderful. Okay, so I don't lose by getting stopped on shorts. I'm winning. But by taking short positions, I'm also not losing. So all short positions help me to do is not lose. I don't really make money from shorts because it's just kind of the same value as what my portfolio is. So as my portfolio goes down, it just means that by the time I get back to the same point again, by taking the short position, yay, my portfolio has gone down, my spot holdings have gone down. But by the time we get back up here again, I've made more money than I had before because I had some short that I took profit on. So now I've got more money. Yeah. That's why I do them. But I don't short very often. I'm not very good at them. I usually close them too early. This was one that played out really well. In fact, some of the ones recently have played out fantastically well. There was an amazing one a couple of weeks ago as well. This one here where like I took the short position it bounced exactly where we said it would bounce, and then it went to make a new high, and I just got out of it really quickly. It was beautiful, beautiful trade. AZTV, I jeep below 62k. Yeah, I mean, if we go below 62k, I am out of here. I don't want to be holding anything for when we're down here again. I'll be out of those trades, and I'll be like, well, I don't know. I say I'll be out of them. I'll probably still hold them because I'm something. I can't think of the word. Whimsy Trades, it's not you. I know exactly who it is. It's just about my car. Basically, I'm yeah, because I'm going away soon. I'm trying to give my car back, but they don't want to take my car back. So I'm going to be stuck paying for my car whilst I'm away, which is very sad. So that's why I'm just not bothering to answer, because they're like they're going to say, oh, you can buy yourself out of the contract for like 40 grand or something. I'll just carry on paying the monthly payments, whatever. Don't buy new cars, guys. Stupid thing to do. Sorry to harp on Tesla again, but the gap I was looking for was from was from 247 to 220. It's all the way up here, man. Oh, this one. Yeah, that's a long way away. This is a big gap. I mean, all right, on the one hand, okay, we were talking about this gap and it being a back test. All right, this big back test. I'm bullish on Tesla. So, yeah, we filled this gap, then came through into this one. There's some acceptance here. You've back tested just to test back a little one that was done here. I would be looking at that. I think that's a pretty decent little setup. I think you're looking okay. How's the extended trading hours looking on this? Yeah, I'd be looking at that as a trade. I go back onto regular. I'd be in this. That would be fine. I mean, I have a position on Tesla from lower, but that's not a bad risk to reward on that. If you've been buying Tesla lately, that looks absolutely fine to me. I would expect that to get filled, yeah. And then you've got a very clear invalidation. You've got reasons for it. All right, we've already back tested. You've already done the back test. So you can use that as the invalidation. Looks cool. What card do I have? I've got a Polestar 2. So it's like Tesla, but not made of cheap plastic. It's a stylish looking one that doesn't look like a fish and isn't made of cheap plastic. But it is an EV. It's all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, bought it a couple of years ago. To be fair, I've only got like 6 months more payments to go on it, so I'm just gonna have to pay them off and then give it back at the end of it, because I probably won't be here afterwards. You got a Fisker. I'm stuck with it. I just like cars, man. buying like new cars, just such a stupid thing to do. I did it as a tax write-off, basically. I did it as a bit of a tax write-off, and I also just wanted a car. But man, getting a new car is just ridiculous. It's so funny, right? I have gone literally full circle over the past couple of years. So before I got into crypto and before I started trading, I like never really had any money. I was living very cheaply, very minimally, very minimalist. And then you start making decent money from trading and all this kind of stuff. And I've done I had a bit of time where I was like, okay, this is cool. All right, I can afford a new car. Bought a house, living in a really cool apartment in the middle of London, like one of the most iconic buildings in the world, and going to Dubai, going to Miami, doing all of this fun stuff. And then eventually you realize it's like, actually, it's kind of all pointless anyway. Like, so now I'm going like full circle back to where I started, and I'm going to be traveling. And the crazy thing is, so I'm going to start off when I go, like, I'm not going to be traveling like slumming it. I'll have my work stuff with me. I'll be living out of some quite nice places whilst I am there. But I've booked a few hostels, just literally because, like, so the first place that I'm going to be staying in for like a while, I'm going to be in Bali for a bit. But the first couple of weeks there, I'm just staying in a hostel because I actually want to, it's like $20 a night. It's a really, 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 really nice one. But but I want to like actually meet people that are doing a similar kind of thing to me and just do something a bit different. Because I think I'll really need my own space again afterwards, but I want to take myself out of my comfort zone. Like, the reason I'm doing this and going is because I am so, like, it's just boring. So I want to do something that just like really just throws me in, like, way out of my comfort zone. Okay, I'm surrounded by other people that are traveling and doing stuff all the time, and then I'll go and I'll work from like other places and things, and then I'll go to the nice little accommodation and stuff afterwards. But like, literally the first place I've booked when I go to Bali is like $20 a night. It's mad. It's crazy. And then I go to a nicer place afterwards. I've got some really cool places lined up as well. I'm going to be doing stuff like, I'm going to be volunteering at an elephant sanctuary, which would be good. One of the really ethical ones. They only have 3 elephants and they've all been rescued. I'm going to volunteer there for a weekend. I'm just going to like chill with some elephants and feed them and stuff. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. It's going to be very wholesome. I worry people might recognize you. No one's going to recognize me. How insignificant am I? I mean, if they do, they do. Like, people recognize me sometimes now, but I mean, I'm much more likely to have people recognizing me when I literally live in a tourist hotspot in the middle of London than I am when I'm out in the sticks in Thailand or Vietnam or wherever I'm going to be. So, yeah. I apologize if this is boring people that I keep talking about my travel plans, but it's all that's on my mind right now because I just cannot wait to leave here. Those elephants are cool, man. Bathing them was fun. Yeah. So there's one place, I think it's in Chiang Mai in Thailand. And it's just it's this one lady that's just rescued these 3 elephants. So they rescued them from a park that was nearby, like a few years ago, that was doing things like doing like elephant rides and stuff like that, which I'm totally against. Like, I would never do anything like that. I think that's completely like, they're like amazing animals and I would never do that. But like to go there and just to like feed them and give them a bath and stuff like that would be so cool. So looking forward to it. I'm living vicariously through you. It's all good. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna be vlogging it, man. I'm gonna be like Kurt Kaz, vlogging everything. Right. Is there anything else we need to look at? Probably not. There's not very much moving. There were a couple of. Are there any altcoins? I saw that there were a couple here. So, Coco the Clown. I'm just looking up at this. Have you ever taken DMT or psychedelics? No. I probably will when I'm in Thailand because it's all legal. I'll probably get myself some like. I'll try it. I'll do maybe a live stream on something sometime. I'll give it a go. But no, I've never done anything like that. I'm too scared. Like how I would react. I'm sure I'd be fine. But I'm not really a substances kind of person. But yeah, I probably will when I'm in Thailand. Because it's just literally there on the streets. I'm really like, yeah, give me some shrooms. Cool. I'll just have some like tea. I saw some alts. Ondo Audi. Vlog the ping pong show. Yeah. Let's have a look at Audi. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff here that's like, okay, it looks great. All right. And I still thoroughly believe that these lows from July are going to hold and that we had another really nice deviation last week. And the structure that you see here, I really like it. Yeah, I think so. Audi looks great, but it's just for me, I'm not really looking to add more. I've added the risk. And we're doing the same thing. Okay, so what I'm talking about from how like there's nothing to do here is based on the lower time frames, but overall it's still everything is in this phase of the market. So by all means accumulate whilst we're here, right? Because I am looking for moves up overall, but it's just about getting nice entries on them. Audi is actually, that's one that looks really, really good right now. Ondo, not so good. Okay, you're too close to the lows for my liking. Like Audi, I like. Ondo, not so much. I am not as confident in that one. But Audi makes it onto my watch list for sure. Because with this, you've not got that clear. Bum, right? That's what I'm looking for. That's literally everything I'm looking for, and you don't have that with Audi. Because those are your lows and you're just continuing to trend down. So it's not there. Whereas you go back onto the previous chart, it very clearly is there. Yeah? It's very clearly. I'm all good with being demonetized. I don't make anything from doing this anyway. What's my ad revenue for last month? $38. Yes. Ballin'. Right. Yeah. That is everything for now. Nothing's moving. We're not even holding daily open again here, are we? I would not be surprised at all to see these lows swept again today. If this was going to go higher, it surely should have done it by now. It should be holding daily open by now, and it's not. So, hey, there we go. We're losing VWAP. Let's go and take these lows again. We'll see what happens. Local golden pocket, something like that. Maybe you can be looking for here. All right, take out these lows. if you're looking for longs, you better hope it bounces down here like 65,870. So let's see how goes it. Enough for one order, trend line liquidity below. Yeah. Does the VWAP band extremities trade still work on FOMC lately? It depends what volatility you have when you're coming into it. Now, the problem with the VWAP bands right now, yeah, for today is they're literally going to be nowhere, right? So it's not going to work. Now, if we see some kind of move that gets some expansion, like we did the other day, right, then you've got a range to trade with. But you've got to understand the context. Right now, nah. But look at what it is doing. In general, still works out. But yeah, I would imagine we probably see a expansion way beyond those VWAP bands for today, unless we see some kind of movement before FOMC later. How much leverage do you use in your trades? Leverage is insignificant. It is like I'm on cross leverage on everything. So if you see money shots, and like leverage is completely insignificant. Sometimes I'll like, doesn't mean anything. It's how much risk do I take per trade? Very much depends on the trade. If I'm confident in a trade, I can use up to like, sometimes for one trade, I'll be up to like 10-20% of my balance on one trade. I'll be risking 10 to 20% of my balance on one trade. If I'm not confident on it, I'll be risking 2 to 5%. I'm not one of those that like risks 1% per trade. That's a bit gay, but yeah. I just kind of feel it, like as much risk as I feel like putting in. Basically, I'm not not that systematic when it comes to trades. Like not that systematic. I have certain criteria that I want to see being met and things like that. Again, when it comes to the NQ, I have much more solid risk parameters there, because I know I can get blown out of the water if I'm not. But on Bitcoin, like I don't really care if I take heavy losses, because it'll be on one account and I've got like accounts all over the place. So whatever. It's so bad to say. How much did you risk on the BTC short? It was a 1.5 BTC position. But the thing is, because I wasn't really sure of the invalidation either, like I think I would probably be closing that out if I made over 1,000. Like if I start losing over $1,000 on a trade, then I start to get a little bit like rare, and that works out as a few percent. So yeah, I guess, does that answer it? Like it wasn't a huge amount really, to be honest. In fact, yeah, that account's only like got like 30-40k in it. So anyway, I don't know. I don't like talking about all these kind of things, because once you start to, I kind of explained this yesterday. Like I'm pretty much like, I'm comfortable enough with how I trade. I know that overall I have an equity curve that goes up. I know if I were to apply myself more, and if I was to start doing like real solid risk management, start journaling all my trades, start thinking properly about my position sizing, I'd make a lot more money. But I don't feel like that's worth the time and the effort. And you get to a point where there's two ways to trade. I think when you're learning, I think it's really, really important to stick to just to stop yourself from getting blown up, okay? To keep yourself in the game. But I know how to keep myself in the game. Like if something's not working in my favor, I'll just cut it. I'll just move on to the next one. I don't really care. Like I'll just cut it when it starts to feel like, yeah, this isn't working out. Or I'll hedge it or I'll cover it in some way. I have ways in which I can do it. If I was more systematic, I would be more profitable. That's just absolute guarantee. I would be more profitable, but it would probably take me an order of magnitude more effort to do that systematic trading day in, day out, that I would just get burnt out to the point where I just don't want to trade anymore. Like my brain's not an organized brain. And when you like, this is why trading is just like, it's so much you. Trading is a reflection of you as a person. And I'm sure when I go away, things will change again. Like really, like things change within your own life and you become different. And if I was to get a bit more of like, if I had like a bit more, I don't know, kind of routine and structure and things, and I like to do that, or I got into that kind of state, then I would become more systematic normally. But right now, trading is not actually like, I'm not here every day thinking like, oh, I must get like a 3 hour per day, or I must hit these profit targets per day. I'm just having a bit of fun with it. And the byproduct of having a bit of fun and taking setups that you like I don't care if I've gone in with a bit too much risk and it's not working out. I'll just kind of make things right in that way. If I've gone in with not enough risk, which is probably the case with the short position because it was a very small invalidation at the end of it, I could have gone in with more size. I didn't, but it doesn't matter. You make some money at the end of the day. So yeah, you'll never hear me being one of those people that's like, you must journal every trade to become profitable. You don't need to. You will be better if you do. But is it really worth your time and your effort to do it? Will that keep you trading by doing that kind of thing? Do you enjoy journaling? Because the bottom line is, the only way you'll have longevity in trading is if you enjoy it. That's it. If you don't enjoy it, if journaling is something that you don't enjoy, and therefore you're not going to trade if you have to journal every day, don't fucking do it. It'll take you longer to become profitable, but at least you still enjoy it. And then work on other things that you can have as an edge. Work on what your strengths are. My strengths are just understanding what trades work for me, understanding the flow of the market, knowing that with crypto, my strength is generally in longer term, 4 hour time frame. Knowing that in NASDAQ, my strength is micro movements, small little boop, 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 and little scalps. Understand your strengths, understand what you like, keep at it, and you'll do well eventually in time. So yeah, it's all about you. The other funny thing is, like, I will probably, because I don't do, like, I actually, Hostile Power asked me a question the other day. We had a little call. And you asked me something like, why aren't you scaling? Like, why aren't you scaling your, this was on, specifically on Top Step. Why aren't I scaling out to other prop firms, getting those multi-million dollars worth of funding, taking bigger risk, doing all of that kind of thing because you can. And I think my answer to, like, I can't remember what my answer to that was or why I'm not, but I'm perfectly comfortable just trading my So I've got 3 100K accounts, 2 50K accounts on Top Step. I'm just very comfortable trading 1 or 2 of those per day. I make a bit of money per day, and I'm just comfortable with just taking that. That to me is what, like, I'm cool with that. If I lose $1,000 in a day, I don't feel too much. If I make $1,000 in a day, I don't feel too much. And that's where my comfort level is at. So as soon as I start to scale it, I just don't know. Again, it just brings stress. I don't want stress. Don't like stress. I don't want any. And the other thing I know about myself is, like, if I have the money, I just end up like splurging it on some stupid shit, like a car that I'm trying to give back now, which is stupid. So, like, I just like to live within my means. I will never, ever, 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 ever be one of those traders that's like, hey, look at me in my Lambo, and like I've made like $10 million this month. I'm not about that. I mean, maybe one day I'll get to that point, but I'm comfortable. It gives me a comfortable life and it gives me freedom, and that's what I like about it. So there we go. I don't have stress, or I don't have to stress too much. I'm so fucking hippie. I sound so hippie. Right, wrapping it up there. That was deep. That was deep stuff. Thanks everybody for watching. I will see you all again very, very soon. I'll be back again tomorrow. Maybe I'll be back again for FOMC later. We'll see how things go. And yeah, safe trading, happy trading. Don't get liquidated. And I'll see you all very soon. Cheers.